Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Finn Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Finn Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Finn Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess. What's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a...
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late today. And this won't be a super long video because I just got a few things to get off my chest, and then I'm going to get out of here. I got some things to do. But I wanted to stop in and shoot the shiznit with y'all. I appreciate y'all stopping through each and every day, showing your support. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share, do all those things. But yeah, let's get right into it. Good morning, Michael Miller. Good morning, Miami Sports 72. Good morning. Let's get right into it. Black Monday came and went without Mike McDAINIEL being fired. And then we hear Black Monday that Mike McDAINIEL is safe. Mike McDAINIEL will be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the 2026 season. And I wasn't completely against that. I know a lot of people were. I just felt like next year was just another year to continue the stack talent, to find the general manager. There was other pressing needs other than removing Mike McDAINIEL from quarterback, our coach, just because I didn't feel like we were a team that was going to be in a position to compete next year. But with Stephen Ross and what's coming out of the Miami Dolphins building, the news coming out of the Miami Dolphins building has me really scratching my head. In reality, it shouldn't have me scratching my head because this is the most Dolphin thing to do if I ever heard of a Dolphin. You know, us Dolphin fans joke around. That's a Dolphin thing to do. You know what I mean? That's so typical Dolphins. If the latest news coming out of Miami isn't typical Dolphins news, I don't know what is. Not only is Mike McDAINIEL safe, and for all you that hate Mike McDAINIEL and want him fired immediately and blame all the shortcomings on the Miami Dolphins on Mike McDaniel, you might want to buckle your seatbelt. Because not only is Mike McDaniel safe for 2026, we may see him safe for 2027, 2028. We may see Mike McDaniel here long term. He just signed a contract extension last year. It hasn't even kicked in yet, a 3-year contract extension. We may see Mike McDaniel finish out that contract extension. And the reason I say that is this: news coming out of Miami. We've got a couple names to interview for general manager, and news is that Mike McDaniel's sitting in on these meetings. He's going to be a part of the hiring group for our next general manager. What in the triple frigga is going on? What the hell is going on? How is Mike McDaniel going to be allowed to sit in, have a say on who the next general manager of the Miami Dolphin is? How is he going to have a say in who his boss is? The general manager is supposed to be in charge of the head coach, not the other way around. So now Mike McDaniel has a say, and he can go out there and handpick the general manager that best fits his personal needs, that has the same team outlook as Mike McDaniel. We were hoping for change. We need change. The Mike McDaniel thing hasn't worked. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked. You can say it's because of the quarterback. You can say it's due to injuries. You can say it's due to Chris Greer. You can say you can put a lot of labels on it, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. We've gone backwards. We've gone backwards. And the fact that Mike McDaniel, and surprise, the names that the Miami Dolphins have listed as possible general manager candidates, people that they're going to bring in the building. Let's take a look. You got Tariq Ahmad from the San Francisco 49ers. RJ Gillen, San Francisco 49ers. Alec Ellerby, the Philadelphia Eagles. John McKay, Los Angeles Rams. John Eric Sullivan, Green Bay Packers. Josh Williams, San Francisco 49ers. Wow, right? Surprise. Mike McDaniel's in on the hiring squad, and three of the candidates are from the San Francisco 49ers, the team that Mike McDaniel came from, where his good buddy Shanahan is the head coach. Surprise, right? Surprise. This is just a complete disaster. I thought, I had an open mind going into this offseason that, hey, we're going to, they brought Troy Aikman in as a consultant. They're looking for a fresh perspective on this team. They're looking for a general manager that can finally get the Miami Dolphins out this rut they've been in for 40 plus years. And to see, this is like a screen pass, folks. It's a screen pass. We're going across the field instead of down the field. Yeah, what sense does this make? How does this change anything? Now, if Mike McDaniel is in on the hiring process, why do they obviously realize that this is some kind of rebuild? So what's the sense of bringing Mike McDaniel back if it's a rebuild? What's the sense of having Mike McDaniel a part of the general manager hiring process if Mike McDaniel isn't safe beyond this season? Because they have to know that this season is probably not going to be successful. So in my mind, the only reason that you would have Mike McDaniel sit in on these meetings if Mike McDaniel has job security. if Mike McDaniel is going to be tied hip to hip with this general manager. It's almost like Mike McDaniel's getting a complete fresh start. A complete fresh start. And that Stephen Ross is just writing everything off on to Tua's fault, Chris Greer's fault. That he's let his blind love affair with Mike McDaniel take over. BK Lynn says, this is so backwards. The new GM will have no authority. This organization is a shit show. I agree. How are you going to allow the person that you're supposed to be in control of? It don't make sense. And then surprise, 3 of the guys are guys that he has prior relationships with. 3 of the 6 entries for possible general manager are guys that he worked with the San Francisco 49ers. And then 2 others have relationships with that coaching tree, the Shanahan coaching tree. Sean McVay, you got John McKay from the Los Angeles Rams. He works with Sean McVay. Mike McDaniel has a relationship with him. And then you got John Eric Sullivan from the Green Bay Packers. You got the LaFleur brother over there who has a relationship with Mike McDaniel and Shanahan. So 5, everyone except Alec Hellerby, who I think is probably the top guy for this job. He's Howie Rossman's main man over in Philly. Like, he has contributed to the success of the Eagles, but I guarantee that one of these guys from San Francisco gets hired. And that will show you a lot. That will prove the point that Mike McDaniel has more control than what you think. That I guarantee, and maybe I'm wrong, but I guarantee that one of the 3 guys from San Francisco gets this job. Book it, Dano. Book it. Just make it make sense. So you're going to get a general manager who thinks exactly like Mike McDaniel thinks, going to let Mike McDaniel have complete control. Complete control. Complete control. You're going to let Mike McDaniel have complete control. It just don't make sense to me, folks. Tua Tagovailoa met with the press yesterday. He had his exit interview with Mike McDaniel this morning, 8 a.m. Tua Tagovailoa said that he would think it would be dope to have a fresh start. The reporters made it clear to him we were talking about fresh start as no longer with this team, and he was like, yeah, I get it. So Tua Tagovailoa is open to moving on from the Miami Dolphins. I just don't know if there's a team that's willing to bite on that contract. Tua Tagovailoa had a terrible year last year. At the time of his benching, led the league in interceptions. I don't know if he ended up finishing the lead with the lead in interceptions or not, but when he was sat down, he led the league in interceptions. Just a complete different quarterback. Has 0 arm strength left in that left arm of his. I believe it's because of the hip injury that he suffered in college. He re-aggravated it last year. I don't think you're going to find anybody to eat that contract, which is going to make it very difficult for the Miami Dolphins to construct a playoff caliber team. It's going to make it very difficult. There's holes on this football team that they need to plug up. There's uncertainty at quarterback. And I know that people are high on Quinn Ewers, but you got to pump the brake on Quinn Ewers. He's a 7th round pick. Yes. Do I think he's a better prospect than a 7th rounder? Yeah, I do. I think Quinn Ewers is a NFL caliber quarterback. I don't know that he's an NFL starting quarterback. I don't know if he's an NFL franchise quarterback. And I think that's a lot to ask of this kid. Now, you can give him all the chances in the world, but you got to be realistic with yourself and you got to temper your expectations. You gotta pull back your expectations a little bit. It's good to have hope. It is. But you got to figure out a game plan. You got to have a plan B. There's rumors about Kirk Cousins. Do not do that. Please do not do that. Please, please, please. Do not force a draft pick. Do not force a quarterback in the first round. Because I think this is a weak quarterback draft. I do. You have no chance of getting Mendoza. I'm pretty sure Moore is going back to college. Even if he doesn't, there's too many quarterback needy teams ahead of the Miami Dolphins that, at one point the New York Giants were way up there. We could have possibly made a deal with them, but the Giants want to win their final 2 games and fall to pick 7 or something like that. So, I mean, you got the Jets up there who got lots of ammo to move up. You got the Raiders up there who desperately need a quarterback, who fired their head coach Pete Carroll yesterday, which a little bit of a surprise. I mean, did the Raiders really think that they was going to win a bunch of games last year? Why bring Pete Carroll out of retirement just to fire him after 1 year? iDog 1946 says, I hate Stephen Ross. I hate you. Man, I just don't know what he's thinking. What are you thinking? What are you? Dementia. He is 80 years old, right? Dementia. Check him. Does he got dementia? Man, what is he thinking? Anthony says, for me, it makes 0 sense for the Jets to build a quarterback. That's an idiotic move. Just because you're desperate for a quarterback doesn't necessarily mean you should draft one. What about the Jets? The Jets, if the Jets can get up to get Mendoza, I would go grab him. Miller says Mike getting what Flores wanted all along, not to mention Mike inherited a 10-win team and has regressed each year since he came here. We're sitting 7-10 and he has complete control. I mean, I don't know about complete control, but I mean, it's starting to look that way. They're going to give Mike McDaniel every opportunity it is to be successful. Falcons owner is 83 and he's still cleaned house. Yeah, I mean, I was joking about the dementia thing, but each and every person is different at the age of 83. I think Stephen Ross is still. He's not a football guy. Stephen Ross is not a football guy. He's a successful businessman who listens to people around him. Now, I don't know who's whispering in his ear, telling him the moves to make and the moves that he should make, but that's the issue. Stephen Ross isn't a football guy. He's not a football guy. Bring in Stefanski. Miller, like, sometimes you be saying some numbskull shit. Like, why? What does Stefanski do with he just got fired from the Cleveland Browns. Why do I want a coach that couldn't do he just showed that he couldn't rebuild a football team. What are we talking about, Stefanski? I think that's a terrible move. Terrible. McDaniel's safe here for next year. I think he might be safe for longer than next year. That's my issue. I'm not completely against Mike McDaniel being here for one more year. I'm not. Just because I think 2026, with Tua's contract, the salary cap implications, I just think 2026 is going to be a rough year. So I'm not against Mike McDaniel being here for one more year. What I'm against is Mike McDaniel having a say in who his new boss is. What I have a problem with is Mike McDaniel possibly being safe more than just 1 year. That's what I'm mad about. That's what I'm furious about. That Mike McDaniel could be safe for multiple years. That Mike McDaniel is almost getting a fresh start from the sounds of it. You're getting to choose the general manager. Now, that general manager feels some type of loyalty to you, some type of, how can you trust the general manager to make the right decisions when it comes to Mike McDaniel, knowing that Mike McDaniel had an integral part in hiring him, that they're good buddies from back in the day with their time with the San Francisco 49ers. Is Arthur Blank a football guy? I'm not sure if Arthur Blank's a football guy. I know Stephen Ross isn't, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much of a football guy Arthur Blank is. I know Stephen Ross is not a football guy whatsoever, though. Bonnie said, this is all just crazy. I agree. I think it's all absolutely. When I heard that he's sitting in on these meetings to hire the next general manager, it blew my mind. But then again, how can I really be surprised? If he's sitting in on the conference, like, he should not be in that room. He shouldn't be in the room to hire the next general manager. Why? For what reasons? Mike McDaniel should have zero say. Zero. Zilch. None. All right, so maybe Arthur Blank got the correct guys around him, though. Maybe Arthur Blank got the correct guys around him. Stephen Ross obviously doesn't have football guys surrounding him. I don't know. I know that Stephen Ross makes some stupid ass decisions. Because we want a GM who understands what we're trying to do. What are we trying to do? What hasn't worked the last 4 years? The GM's the one that's supposed to tell us what we're trying to do. What do you mean? The GM is supposed to be the one trying to telling us what we're trying to do. The GM's supposed to have the master plan when it comes to building this football team and his vision. That's the general manager's job. He's not supposed to go to the coach. You know what I mean? Typically, the general manager hires the coach that wants to follow his vision. We haven't secured enough blue chip players because we're drafting players that fit Mike McDaniel's system. We have an undersized offensive line because it fits Mike McDaniel's system. You know what I mean? This team is built for speed because that's what Mike McDaniel wants. Anthony, I didn't see your last comment. They go fast. I can't read every one of them. Miller says, let me throw this out there. GM candidates have reported that Mike isn't guaranteed, but he's sitting in on interviews, so he isn't retained on head coach. Why would he be in the room? Mike McDaniel is staying as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. $49ers candidate will get hired. That I agree. They got three of them. This team is built for mediocrity. And who built it? Who had a major say in what players are here right now? Mike McDaniel. He's not gonna go to coordinator, Miller. What position would he take? He's not gonna take a demotion. Mike McDaniel, if he's released right now, Mike McDaniel is gonna be a hot coaching name. At the very least for a coordinator job. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Mike is in the room during that GM search and Ross chooses anybody but his two guys that he worked with in San Francisco, like a Chad Alexander? I mean, why would he deliberately shit on his head coach? Why would he do that? And there's 3 candidates from San Francisco, not 2, 3. Greer brought in all the players. He brought in what type of players Mike McDaniel wanted. Ross is a weirdo, so he likes McDaniel. Hey. Listen, all I know is that it doesn't make sense that they're bringing in Mike McDaniel to sit in on these meetings. Mike McDaniel, listen, I want to give credit to Mike McDaniel last year. He probably did his best coaching job I've seen him do in the last 4 years, the second half of the season. Because he completely switched up his game plan, the way he goes about his business, the way that he attacked defenses. We were a pass-first team for the majority of Mike McDaniel's tenure here. We were a speed, over the top, and once he's seen that Tua didn't have the arm strength, once Tyreek went down and we were no longer able to do that, he used Brunskill and we turned into a running team. He used Achane, and I think he did a really good job the second half of the season. Yet we're still unable to make adjustments. And I think that's killed us. That's one of the major flaws for Mike McDaniel is that he cannot make adjustments. The third quarter this year, we were outscored 130-27. 130-27. I think that's the correct number. I might got it. It's close to that regardless. It's very close to that if that's not the exact number. But that just shows at halftime other teams are making adjustments and the Miami Dolphins are not. His game management as far as timeouts and his challenges, and he lacks good judgment when it comes to those things. I think Mike McDaniel still has a ton of talent, and I really feel like if he could get an assistant head coach to help him with those areas of coaching, then Mike McDaniel could still be a great head coach. I think he's got a terrific mind, the way he puts offensive schemes together. I think that's why Stephen Ross has such a love affair with him, because he hears about how people talk about how brilliant Mike McDaniel is on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that's the problem, is that Mike McDaniel is more of a coordinator than he is a head coach. Mike McDaniel isn't necessarily a leader of men. He's a great offensive scheme type of guy. He's great at putting together a game plan to attack a defense. But as far as running a franchise, not so much. Listen, I think Tyreek, I would love to have Tyreek back. I know that's an unpopular decision with some of you guys. If you can get him back cheap, he's such a dynamic player, and maybe he's not the same player when he comes back. That was a devastating knee injury. But shoot, great coach, but fire him. I think he's a great coordinator. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a great coordinator. To be a great coach, you gotta be able to do every facet, and he struggles at some major things. What would the Dolphins have looked like with Rodgers here? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they would have looked like with Aaron Rodgers here. Mike won the power struggle. He got Greer and probably 2 out, and now good teams. Have fun, Mike. Everyone keeps saying he's a great head coach, but if you continually make the same mistakes year in and year out, dealing with responsibilities he's incapable of dealing with. Again, Miller, I'm not saying he's a great coach. I think he has the potential to be a great coach, but as of right now, I think he's a great coordinator. I think that's a lack of, you build your team a certain way, it's going to struggle. They're built on speed. They're zone running scheme, smaller offensive linemen. So, of course, when it comes to being able to get 1 or 2 yards trying to play bully ball, you're going to struggle in that aspect because you don't have the right players in place. So they're going to struggle in short yardage lots of times because that's not how this team is built. They're not a ground and pound, up the middle type of team. Imagine Rodgers behind this line. This O-line played pretty good this year, though. You got to give them credit. This O-line played way better than I thought they were going to. This O-line wasn't the problem this year. They played well. Big C, what credibility does Mike have, honestly, to be in that room, to be choosing the GM? He is not Jim Harbaugh, who's been to a Super Bowl. I don't think he should be in the room, so I can't give you a reason. Playoffs with Rodgers, not this year. Maybe, yeah, actually, maybe. Tua played so badly that if Aaron Rodgers is on this team this year, they probably do make the playoffs. I mean, Sea Devil, you never know what's going to happen, but I think with how poorly Tua played this year, if Aaron Rodgers was on this team, they probably do make the playoffs. Probably. A coach that plays sideways and or backwards when it's 4th and 1 is moronic. Yeah, I hate those play calls. I think, but again, that's the lack of not having a big bruising running back, right? You try to come up with other ways to get that short yardage, and lots of times they don't work. Alexander was injured. He put up flashy stats in 2023. He makes Ross laugh. That's it. Well, this 2023, Tua was a different quarterback. I feel Tua's not healthy. Regardless of what anybody says, Tua's not healthy. There's an issue with Tua's hip. I'm telling you, I believe it wholeheartedly that Tua is having them issues from his hip in college, and he's not disclosing it to anyone. He doesn't have the same zip on his passes. He can't throw it downfield at all now. I'm telling you, he's hurt. He's hurt. This isn't just Tua playing bad. It's Tua not being able to do the things that Tua was able to do. Of the list that they posted, what 3 guys do you want? They're not, of course, the guys from San Francisco, bro. Of the names they listed, I like Alec Hallerby from the Philadelphia Eagles, John McKay from the Los Angeles Rams, and I would say my third favorite would probably be Ray Agnew, but he's not on the list. That's probably my 3 favorite. Brewer made the line look better than what it was. Jonah was trash, and we had to implement a 6 offensive lineman to run the ball effectively. Line should still be a top priority. I agree. We still, hopefully Daniels can come back next year. That will be a big help. Austin Jackson was hurt most of the year. We'll see what happens with that. Larry Borum played very well in Austin Jackson's place, though. I was very surprised, and he played well. So, yeah, the offensive line can definitely be better. If the Dolphins can make the playoffs with an upgraded quarterback, the problem, there probably isn't McDaniel. I'm not saying McDaniel's the full problem. I have a problem with Mike McDaniel being in the room to hire his boss. There's got to be a structure to your franchise. If Mike McDaniel doesn't have to answer to the GM because they're buddies and he was responsible for him getting hired, what are we doing? Who's holding Mike McDaniel responsible for his actions? You might as well make Mike McDaniel the general manager and the head coach. Michael says, total loss of strength and mobility. I agree. And why is that? I believe it's the hip. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe it's the hip. Listen, Aaron Brewer had a good year. Aaron Brewer should have been a Pro Bowler. You're tripping. Aaron Brewer is he's an undersized center, but he is one of the best centers in the league. Aaron Brewer is. Undersized, but a very good center. Make sure you hit that like button for me, subscribe, comment, share, help the channel grow. Play that. We got big things planned for this channel in the future. A lot of giveaways coming up. I talked to TD last night. Plan on doing some things with him. Hopefully going to help me get monetized, so that'll be a good thing. But yeah, a lot of good things, big things coming to the channel. Just don't you want to be a part of something, help it grow, help it become special? I try to interact with each and every one of you guys. I enjoy talking to each and every one of you, hearing your perspective. I'm not always right. I'm wrong more than I'm right. I'm wrong more than I'm right. I'm no expert. I just tell you how I feel about the team and the way I see it. And if you don't see it the same way, good. I'm glad that some people don't see it the same way. That gives us avenues to discuss. And that's why Mike McDaniel shouldn't have a hand in hiring his boss. Because you need different opinions on how things are ran, how you build a football team. I don't necessarily agree with how Mike McDaniel wants to build a football team. I don't believe that we should just go for undersized, fast, speedy players. We need some bully players. We need some big, bulky players. Some guys that can dominate the competition, the opposition. Like I don't know what this means for the Miami Dolphins. I just don't think it's a good look. I think that people on the outside look at this franchise as if it's a joke. You got Rex Ryan on Sunday Morning Football calling our coach clown boy, nerd boy. Like, how disrespectful. No respect. People laugh at this franchise. We're looked upon as a joke. We can't beat good teams. We can't win in cold weather. All those narratives. I was happy that Chris Greer got fired. And this just puts a damper on my parade. Because I feel like hiring the next general manager was a key component to us having success in the future. And if Mike McDaniel has any say in who his new boss is, I think it's just a massive mistake. I appreciate you, Michael. I appreciate you. Status quo Ross, and he said the status quo wasn't going to be good enough, but obviously he meant that he's satisfied with moving on from Chris Greer. That was his big sacrifice this year. Big C, you hear about the Eichenberg leg injury, could be career ending. I'm hearing that it probably is career ending, Aqua. I heard that in the locker room, he looks like the exact words were he looks like an offensive lineman that has already retired. He's lost all his muscle mass, drastic weight loss, limping around. The fact that you're limping 8.5 months after, you know what I mean? He's been hurt the whole year. And you're still hurt. You're still limping around. You've lost all your size. You have no strength. You just look like a regular human being. Jonah's the worst pick that Cam Smith. He makes me miss Eichenberg, who seems to be medically retiring. Listen, still have hope in Jonah. It's still early. Man, it was a reach. We reached for Jonah, but have faith. Let the kid, hopefully the kid goes out and puts the work in this offseason. Remember, Patrick Paul was bad last year. But he put the work in. Hopefully Jonah does the same exact thing. One thing about them Samoans, they're hard workers. I think Samoans are pretty hard workers, and I think that give him another year. If he comes back next year and he's the same player, then all right. But give him a chance. Give him a little bit more time. Yeah, Bonnie, he's lost a tremendous amount of weight, way smaller. It's definitely I definitely, unfortunately, I think it's probably a wrap for his career, but wishing him the best. I wasn't happy that we re-signed him, but I didn't want the guy to get, people work so hard to become professional football players and to follow their dreams, and all the hard work that went into getting Liam Eichenberg to the NFL, to see it end after a few short seasons. And let's be real, Liam Eichenberg was given a raw deal. You know what I mean? He was thrown all over the offensive line. He was never given an opportunity to really get better at one position. Never got an opportunity to perfect his craft at one position because, this guy's hurt. You got to go play here. This guy's hurt. You got to go play here. He was playing center, left guard, right guard, tackle. Never given a real opportunity to get better at one position. So I feel for the guy. I feel bad for him. And hopefully this ain't the end for him. But if it is, best wishes to him and his family. And appreciate the sacrifice he laid out for the Miami Dolphins. Definitely appreciate it. But I'm going to get out of here. We'll talk more about this later. Hopefully we get a clearer picture of what's exactly going on with the Miami Dolphins. But I do know this. I want to say this, that if Mike McDAINIEL really is in the room for hiring a general manager, the Miami Dolphins should be ashamed. They need to really take a look in the mirror and be like, what's going on? What are we doing here? Why are we allowing this to happen? It's not normal. And they need to reevaluate how they build a football team. But make sure you hit the like button for me, please. Help me grow. Help us grow. This isn't just my channel. It's a platform for you to discuss your feelings, to let your feelings be known. Anytime anybody wants to come on the show, you're more than welcome. Thank goodness Mike's in the room. You're a good one, C Devil. You're a good one. Anytime anybody wants to come on the channel and give their thoughts and give their 2 cents, they're more than welcome to. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Until then, fins up. Peace.
Yo. Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing, we scorching the floor. McDAINIEL the tour, we stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse, we the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.